Look, let's just dive right into this. We live in an era that is completely overflowing with fluffy self-help. You know what I'm talking about. The books, the podcasts, the content designed to just pat you on the back and tell you that you're perfectly fine exactly the way you are. That stuff is built for the version of you that wants the feeling of progress without actually doing any of the work. But today, we are throwing every bit of that out the window. What we're unpacking right now in this explainer of Dee's incredible book, Iron Mirror, is not some soft, comfortable philosophy. It is an unflinching psychological confrontation. Think of this as a documentary exploration into the architecture of your own mind. No fluff, no comfortable lies, just the raw materials you need to build yourself.
You have always known. You have simply refused to look. There's a quiet, kind of gnawing gap between who you currently are right now and who you know deep down in your bones you could actually be. You feel it, don't you? At 2 a.m. when the world is dead quiet. You feel it every single time you break a promise to yourself. You know the exact habits you said you'd build. You know the man you said you would become. The mirror we are holding up today is cold, it's accurate, and it is completely unforgiving. And what it reveals is the heaviest truth of all. This gap between your current reality and your ultimate potential is a choice. So I have to ask you, are you here to feel inspired? Or are you here to actually change? Because let's be totally honest, inspiration is just an emotion. It's cheap. It spikes your dopamine, it makes your chest feel warm, you feel like you can take on the world. And then it completely fades the second your phone rings, or your boss yells at you, or you get a little bit tired. Change, real, permanent change, is surgical. It requires actively dismantling the illusions that you've been using to protect your own comfort.
Section 1. The Untrained Man. Weakness is not biological.
Here is a fundamental neuroscientific truth. Most men are not inherently weak. They are simply untrained. Evolution has literally hardwired your brain for efficiency and survival. It categorizes difficulty, whether that's having a deeply uncomfortable conversation or pushing through a brutal workout, as a biological threat. The untrained mind feels that resistance and immediately takes flight. It runs straight back to comfort. But look at elite performers, special forces, Olympic athletes. They actively train to override this ancient survival mechanism. They feel the exact same friction, the exact same fear, but they interpret it as neutral data. They recognize discomfort simply as the literal location where growth happens.
Section 2. The Anatomy of Avoidance. The Silent Destroyer.
Failure is almost never some sudden, catastrophic event. It doesn't work like that. It is the compound interest of 10,000 tiny, completely justifiable retreats from hard things. The surface layer of this avoidance is just tasks. It's the emails you don't send, the gym sessions you skip. But layer 2 gets darker. That's identity avoidance. That's staying in a dead-end career or a toxic relationship because leaving means admitting to yourself that you wasted years. And then there's the existential layer. The question that keeps men awake at night. Who am I becoming? Is this the life I purposefully chose or just the life that happened to me while I was busy avoiding the hard things? The sheer, crushing weight of that question is exactly why most men never sit in silence. They are absolutely terrified of the answer.
Section 3. The Illusion of Confidence. Borrowed Validation.
Modern society is brilliant at keeping men small, and it does this by feeding them counterfeit confidence built entirely on algorithms, status symbols, and external validation. But real confidence, it is simply the residue of kept promises. It's the audience-independent certainty you possess when absolutely everything goes wrong. It is waking up at 5 a.m. when the room is freezing cold and literally nobody cares if you sleep in, but you get up anyway. When you honor your own internal code day after day, you stop needing the world to applaud for you, because you have finally done the work to earn your own genuine self-respect.
Section 4. The Dopamine Trap. The Neuroscience of Lust.
This is the pivot. This is where we talk about the weaponization of your own biology. Modern consumption, endless scrolling, constant digital stimulation, pornography, it has completely hijacked your most primal drives. When your dopamine system is constantly spiked by digital illusions, your focus shatters. It creates counterfeit achievement. Your brain is being chemically tricked into feeling the massive evolutionary reward of conquest without you having to do a single ounce of actual work in the real world. It turns ambitious men into completely predictable, sedated, easily manageable machines.
And this brings us to a historical truth that we have completely lost touch with. Lust seeks what it can extract. Love seeks what it can build. Ancient warriors, Roman philosophers, the men who built empires, they didn't suppress their primal energy. They ruthlessly directed it. They understood that the exact same intense energy you waste on cheap dopamine hits is the exact energy required to build a business, sculpt a physique, or forge an unbreakable family. If you don't control this energy, I guarantee you, someone else is going to use it to control you.
Section 5. The Raw Man. The Architecture of Truth. So, what happens when we tear down the illusions? When we strip away the avoidance and the cheap borrowed confidence, you are left with what Dee calls the raw man. A man who operates entirely without performance or pretense. He lives by a fiercely tested code. He is internally accountable, meaning he is significantly harder on himself in private than he would ever be in public. He is radically honest, and maybe most importantly, he is fully present. Think about it. In a world of perpetual distraction, a man who can look you in the eye and give you his total, undivided presence, that man is practically superhuman.
Section 6. The Iron Protocol. Systems beat motivation.
Because understanding the psychology just isn't enough. Execution is quite literally everything. Let me be brutal here. Motivation is a myth. It is a fleeting emotion. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. This is the iron morning. There is zero room for negotiation here. You wake hard, no snooze button. 5 minutes of absolute silence. Then you train, establishing immediate physical dominance over your day. You review your internal code, your goals, and you execute deep, meaningful work. You win the psychological war before the rest of the world has even opened its eyes. And you don't just do this on the days you feel like it. You do it every single day. You move your body hard. You do work that builds something real. You deliberately learn. You make one genuinely honest connection. And you review your code. This is all about consistency, not intensity. An ordinary guy who just executes these 5 things, purely on discipline, consistently for a decade, he becomes a literal force of nature.
Section 7. The Confrontation.
This is where the theory ends. This is where your reality begins. Everything we have unpacked in this explainer boils down to the confrontation that you are about to have with yourself. Because the mirror never judged you. It only reflected you. Your physical health, your bank account, the chaos, or the peace in your own mind. They are not accidents. They are simply the physical, undeniable manifestation of your daily habits.
The man you fear becoming is created one comfortable decision at a time. Every time you hit snooze, every time you choose the distraction over the work, every time you swallow your truth just to avoid a little bit of conflict.
But listen to me. The man you dream of becoming is built one difficult decision at a time. That is the incredible beauty of this. The path to greatness isn't locked behind genetics. It's not locked behind millions of dollars. It is entirely 100% within your control. It is forged in the fire of applied daily friction.
No one is coming. No one is responsible. No one can build your life for you. Your excuses do not matter, even if they are completely valid. You are wholly, beautifully, and terrifyingly responsible for your own existence from this exact moment forward.
The build starts right now. One decision, one morning, one conversation, one workout, one promise kept. Again, again, again. The relentless, unglamorous drumbeat of daily discipline.
Until one day, a noise stops. The anxiety fades. The borrowed confidence just burns away completely. Until one day, you look into the mirror and the man looking back is someone you trust. You have finally earned your own self-respect.
The mirror never changed. You did. Thank you for joining me for this explainer on Iron Mirror. The work begins now.